gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed. Is that one right through the gap in right center? Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, LaCueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As LaCueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Henderson, and away we go. And away we go on a Friday. Good morning to you, and happy Friday. Fridays are usually happy. Opening drive, Jefferson Bieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
I do a lot. What'd you think of the draft? I thought uneventful in some respects. I mean, I don't know. Suits were nice, some of them.
Dude, it's one of those things that we're probably not going to see half these people in the NBA, but I love this stuff. Like, I just can't get enough of the stories, the potential what ifs, and knowing that half these guys might even end up being traded by tomorrow. Who knows with some of these deals? But I just love all the what ifs, the projections, and the potential. Give me all the potential in the world, the hope, and let's get to free agency next week and see what this league looks like.
So what did you like the most? Which stories did you like the most?
It's fascinating, guys that pop up, and like the first pick of the second round, James Nagy, this kid, they're like, he started playing basketball at 12. Someone saw a YouTube video of him on Facebook, and all of a sudden he starts playing basketball. Like Hungary, plays for Barcelona last year, and then gets drafted in the NBA. And it's like that's just nuts for these dudes. All the potential in the world. And I think what we're seeing, too, is a shift to more and more teams using the second round as a way to acquire legitimate talent that they believe in. And that's a shift over the last couple of years we've seen in the NBA. Because outside of the lottery, there used to not be a lot of buzz about the NBA draft. It really felt like teams didn't care that much about the draft, but there's a lot less draft and stash in the second round and a lot more, hey, we're going to take a chance on an older player who we think actually can come in and contribute on our basketball team.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was the one and dones, and now who can come in and help me now? Who can a Grady Dick help me now? Can a Jaime Jaquez help me now? Once you get outside of the lottery, and I think there's something to that. All right. 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. That's the 377 Brewery Hotline. It's also the Sports Animal text line. Come on in and get your thoughts in on the draft, because I want to hear what you have to say. The Thompson twins go back-to-back. Brandon Miller goes number 2. Of all the things, what do you think of Brandon Miller at 2 as opposed to Scoot Henderson? Because the more I learn, and I'm not going to pretend I knew a lot about Scoot Henderson. I didn't. I didn't watch a G League game. I don't. Not that I'm disparaging to anybody who does. I didn't. And so, but I did watch Brandon Miller's game. I think he's terrific physically. I think he's athletically gifted. I listened to him go. I'm not a big fan of his I don't know, his rants and whatever he's trying to do with Michael Jordan. I feel that Scoot Henderson long term is going to be better than Brandon Miller. Do you?
I think there's a possibility because Scoot Henderson looks like a guy that's been in an NBA weight room for a few seasons already. Like the physically gifted dude at 6'2", he's not going to get pushed around. He's an explosive athlete. But I think just 2 for the Charlotte Hornets, you're more concerned about giving LaMelo Ball a better option off the ball. And that's Brandon Miller on the perimeter if he can lock in and if he can be like his idol, Paul George, just in terms of a good two-way player. That's going to help Charlotte be competitive because this is a team that had a lot of talent over the last few years, and they haven't been able to take that next step. And it's one you look at and say, all right, you've drafted a lot of high picks. Now you got to get this going, and they're hoping that Brandon Miller is more of a piece that can help ignite them as opposed to lead them.
And they're there every year. And so the question is now, you look at Portland, there's Scoot Henderson. They had to. I mean, there was really – he was the best player there, and people are like, when you're them, you got to get the best player available. They got a lot of guards, and the top of that list is Dame Lillard. And everybody wants Damian Lillard. And does he fit in Philly? Yeah. Does he fit in Milwaukee? Absolutely. Would he fit in Brooklyn? Certainly. Would he fit? I mean, pick it. Yes. And I think there's GMs all over the NBA that are trying to put together a package for Damian Lillard. Do you think this is more apt that the Blazers package some of their assets and bring people in around Lillard and Henderson? Or is it more apt that they get a big package and build around Henderson and ship out Damian Lillard?
I think right now the Damian Lillard trade market is dead. Because if you're Portland, you're not going to get what you want back for Damian Lillard. If you're trading him to Milwaukee and Philadelphia, you're getting a bunch, I don't even know, some of these picks that are owed, honestly, from some of these teams with the moves they've made. Right. So you're getting late round picks back in the future. You're not going to get impactful young players from those teams because they don't have impactful young players on those rosters. The only name that's young is Tyrese Maxey, and is he going to be enough that if you're Portland, you're like, we're going to move Damian Lillard for a bunch of late first-round picks and Tyrese Maxey? So I think right now there is not a market for Portland to acquire not even a star, but a top-level veteran alongside Damian Lillard, or for them to trade Dame because that package isn't there.
Do you think they want to trade him? I don't think they do. See, I think they want to build around him. I think they'd rather get pieces and trade some of their young pieces. Now, I don't think they want to trade Scoot Henderson. How does Henderson, because to me, what I see with his game is he helps Damian Lillard. Lillard doesn't have to be on the ball all the time. It frees him up to do, I think, a little bit more off the ball. It gives you another dynamic player in the backcourt. Now, granted, you're small, right? You've got to go find something. You got Nusif, what's his name? Nurkic? Is that it?
Nurkic.
Yeah, that guy. Say it again. Yusuf Nurkic. Yusuf Nurkic. Yeah, that one. Other than that, you got to go find some bigs. So can you package some of your guards and go find something with length? Can you find a free agent? Is there a free agent that wants to play with Dame Lillard and Scoot Henderson? And you would think so. But are they the most attractive? I mean, with all the teams out there that have a chance to win, you look at them and say, well, do they? And you've got to convince not only Lillard, but anybody who wants to come play there.
And it feels like, I have to go back over, but when you look at how young Portland is, they should have some cap space. Like, they shouldn't be a team that isn't in the free agent market, right, that shouldn't be able to call, heck, even a Kyrie Irving at this point in time and just get on the phone with some of these guys with as young as that roster is. And I appreciate Damian Lillard because his attitude has been he wants to be in Portland. and he wants to stay in Portland, and that is fine. If you're comfortable there, you want to compete, you want to play, let's go. But he has been kind of back and forth, so he's open to a move, but I just don't see a move that would satisfy Portland right now, because even when you look at like last year, when everyone thought the trade market was broken, when the Minnesota Timberwolves give up 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, like, are you just accepting a bunch of future picks because the teams we're talking about don't have a lot of assets that are going to look great right now? They're going to be late picks, they're going to be future picks, a bunch of pick swaps, and all that stuff. And I think just right now, as we sit today, everyone wants Dame Lillard. I know the Blazers want to acquire someone to play with Dame Lillard, but there's not that market just for these teams to satisfy Portland.
There should be plenty of cap space. They got 4 guys making north of $10 million, right? They got Dame at $42.5. Jeremy Grant is making $21 million. Nurkic makes $15.5 million, and Anthony Simmons at $22.3 million. And after that, everybody's under $10 million, $6 million, $5 million, $4 million, right, in that range. So they should have some cap space there to go out and do something if they can find someone who wants to dance with them. It takes 2 to dance, and so they'll need that. All right, we're going to go through this. I don't know that we're going to comb it extensively, but if you have thoughts, DC's here to take your call. DC, good morning. How you living this morning?
Very well.
All right.
Very that draft, though, that was wild. Got to wonder why.
Okay, see your face. JJ, see your face. You can barely hear him too, right? Okay. All right. I know you're there, and I kind of heard you. And I think you said it's really wild, but I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't think I could hear you. But DC's here to take your call at 505-246-0610. That's the 377 Brewery Hotline. Nick Nee's going to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We're going to look back at last week's U.S. Open. His thoughts on Wyndham Clark's victory over Rory. You see Rory's hole-in-one yesterday? Rory had an ace yesterday, his first ace on tour.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. When we come back, a little bit more on the draft. I think there's a guy out of the West Coast, a guy for the Pac-12, that maybe not the steal of the draft, but boy, certainly an impact late first round guy. Who that is, and a couple of other thoughts on the draft. The guy that slipped all the way down to 20, I think makes an impact as well. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on a Friday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my
Drive on a Friday morning. Good morning, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. DC takes your calls at 505-246-0610 on the 377 Brewery Hotline. So I'm going to give you two guys, JJ, outside the lottery that I think make a ton of sense, and they're both a little bit older. I love Jaime Jaquez out of UCLA to Miami. I think it's a guy that fits what they do, the culture, a hardworking guy. You go, Jeff, he's a UCLA glory guy. Not really. No, I think his game works perfectly with where they are. Older guy that's going to fit in. And the other one, I like Chris Murray because I think obviously Portland needed someone big. His brother Keegan had a nice year with Sacramento. I like Chris Murray at 23 to Portland. Was there anything in the back half of the first round that stuck out? And what do you think of those?
Jaime Jaquez, like universally, people think that's an amazing fit, and I think that's just kind of goes to people believing in what Miami Heat are doing with any players at this point in time, from rookies to guys that are a few years into the league and how they fit into the system. He's long, he can shoot the three, kind of has that, even coming from UCLA, he has that grinder mentality when you watch Jaime Jaquez play. He's that dude. Chris Murray's going to be interesting because he's going to be compared a lot to his brother, and his brother Keegan was really good. He hit more three-pointers than any rookie ever. So Keegan Murray was exceptional for the Sacramento Kings. But as a similar game, that stretch 4, extend the floor. And that's when you look at Portland, and so you just kind of scratch your head. You're like, they have a ton of young assets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's kind of why they're just kind of in this no man's land purgatory right now of what to do with Dame Lillard. Yes or no with that. Also, a team that's done a really good job under the radar because the last few years it's been Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant.
Dallas.
It's Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets have actually done a good job of finding some of these guys that have come and contribute. Last year it was Nicholas Claxton, a forward that they got. This year going Noah Clowney, and then Derek Whitehead back-to-back in the first round. I think Clowney can be an impactful player because I think the Brooklyn Nets actually heading in the right direction with Mikal Bridges, who had some fantastic performances from Phoenix. So those are some of the names that I like at the back end. Also, when you're just looking at player fit, Marcus Sasser, guard out of Houston, who initially was going to Memphis, but he's going to Detroit. I think that's going to help such a young team get kind of one of those grit and grind guys. You know, Sasser, kind of like a Marcus Smart, and you get him late in the first round. I like that pick as well.
There's what Houston did too. They get the first of the Thompson brothers, Amen Thompson, and then late in the first round at number 20, they get Cam Whitmore, who slipped all the way down, the kid from Villanova, who was projected top 10 and slipped and slipped and slipped. And look, they need everything they can get, obviously, because I think that's the one team you look at in the West, you're like, wow, they're not very good, and it's going to be a long time before they're very good. But to collect young pieces, Cam Whitmore at 20 is tremendous.
Houston's not very good, but this gives them a great opportunity. They can either go, hey, we're young and let's try to compete right now with these players. They got Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., guards and wing players on the roster already. And there's, talks of them wanting to get old right away. And so you have a ton of assets that you could be throwing on the table to go out and potentially try to, land some of these veteran players across the league and acquire as much talent as you can. I think that, for the Houston Rockets, and these teams have been bad for a while, even with young players at some point in time, you got to flip that switch. And I think the challenge with the Houston, the challenge with like a Washington going forward is you're going to lose a lot of games when you're that young in the NBA. But then how do you pull yourself out of the process? How do you pull yourself out of, all right, we're just going to be bad to draft? And then you got to start figuring out if these dudes can win in the NBA. You got to figure out if you can be the next Oklahoma City Thunder, if you can be what the Sacramento Kings did.
Because both of those teams are young, up and coming, and loaded, and you think they're going to be good. All right, before we jump out of this, a couple of issues in the NBA I want to hit before we get off the draft. Actually, let's go here. What is Victor Wembanyama going into? Right, no surprise. There was no intrigue at the top of the draft. And you read all the experts, oh, yeah, he'll win a championship there. He will win a championship there. What's around him? Because you look at a team that hasn't made the playoffs in a while. He's going in and looking at it, is supposed to be the savior. And I'm like, all right, is there enough around this young man to let him develop in a West that is completely loaded?
Next year, no.
Right.
Now that if you're San Antonio and Greg Popovich, here we go back. You're trying to win now. You got the number 1 overall pick. You got Victor Wembanyama. Now you can let Greg Popovich coach players to win instead of just trying to develop guys. And I think that's a factor that we all caught on to late. I think just as how bad San Antonio has been the last couple of seasons, we really haven't been talking about Greg Popovich. And that dude is pretty good. And that dude has helped develop players. That guy's been around great players. And for Victor Wembanyama, this is one of the best spots you can go into. Because a lot of times, these guys that are going 1, 2, 3 in the draft, you don't get to go to a coach like that for your first NBA destination.
Do you know who the highest salaried player is on their roster in San Antonio right now?
Is it Keldon Johnson?
It's not. And if I told you only 2 dudes were making north of $10 million right now, Would that surprise you?
No. Is one of them Zach Collins?
The highest paid, the highest contract on the roster right now is Doug McDermott. It's $13.7 million. And the next one is, well, I tell you, there's two. It's Devontae Graham at $11.5 million.
Okay.
And after that, I mean, they got money. Now, who wants to go there? That's a whole other issue. And what do they want to do? Because, I mean, you're going to a roster that's got Ken Birch and Charles Bassey. And, I mean, who's there? Zach Collins is on that team, right, from Gonzaga. But Georgia Dang is on that team. They got Victor Wembanyama. But they got a lot of work to do building that roster. And as good as Pop is, I think we've made this very clear over the years, and it's been proven, you need players to be a good coach. Players, plural, not just one dude. And I think they're a ways away.
Yeah. I think in year 2, 3, if they're able to check some boxes in free agency without a playing team, I think that's what you're looking at, and then taking the steps from there.
Well, playing team is able to get to the finals, aren't they? I mean, I think we've established that this year. A playing team can get to the finals. All right, a couple other NBA things before we jump off of this, and you're welcome to get in on the NBA draft. Come on in at 505-246-0610. Lonzo Ball, the older of the Ball brothers, the first one, the one the Lakers drafted out of UCLA, he will not be ready to play next season. He just missed all of last season with a knee injury. He's had a third injury to replace cartilage, and he's going to miss a whole nother season. Is he going to be the what might have been but never was guy?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's already reports that Chicago doesn't think he's ever going to play again.
That who doesn't?
That the Bulls don't think he's ever going to play again.
Wow. I mean, his brother was hurt too, but is going to play. But, man, oh, man, the Bulls tried to pair him with, I mean, a lot of players.
And for Lonzo Ball, he's a guy that he developed his game. He became a better outside shooter.
Yes.
He was a very solid point guard. Once you got past all the big baller brand hype and when he was coming into the league, and when he got to New Orleans, man, this dude was a solid basketball player. And it's just unfortunate that we see it. You have an injury, and then it just keeps progressing in the wrong direction, and that's Lonzo Ball and his knee.
Cartilage transplant. I'm not sure I've ever heard of cartilage transplant. He underwent cartilage transplant surgery on his left knee back in March. It was the third surgery. His last game was January 14th of 2022. Cartilage. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
I'm not sure I have.
It's relatively new. There's not a lot of success stories to it. I heard Colorado Avalanche captain Gabe Landeskog just had this done, and he's not going to play the entire season next year. So it is kind of last case or worst case scenario of last chance to try to get back playing.
Yeah. All right, one other thing before we get off the basketball, and we're going to go NFL when we get back, but for the Warriors, bigger priority, and it seems like they might be moving away from Clay, and I know most people think it should be a bigger priority to re-sign Draymond than Clay. I know that I'm not totally sold on that. You're there, aren't you?
Well, I think the move that they made by trading Jordan Poole and acquiring Chris Paul, on the surface, a lot of people are going to say, what?
By the way.
That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Like that, how does this fit? How does this work? Well, you know how it works? Because Chris Paul only is guaranteed his money for next year.
Yeah. Do you like that trade, by the way?
My initial reaction was no, but I like it because you only have Chris Paul for 1 year. His contract after next season is not fully guaranteed. And by trading Jordan Poole, acquiring Chris Paul for a year, they cleared about $100 million off their cap. So that will allow
after this year.
But that will allow them to give final deals to Draymond Green and Klay Thompson.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I don't love it, and I felt like they could have done better for gotten more in return for Jordan Poole. I'm not sure how I think Chris Paul fits in this, and you know that I just don't think there's anything left. I think that he can't get through a season. Now, maybe playing limited minutes because his role on this team now is a reserve. He's coming off the bench.
He's coming off the bench. He'll maybe start a couple games when they decide to give Steph a few nights off. But that's the plan now, is Chris Paul is not a full-time 35-plus minute per game starter in the regular season.
Nor should he be. I mean, he's just not that guy anymore. Now, if you're going to tell me he's coming off the bench and giving me 20 minutes a game, okay, I'm listening to it. Maybe that's how you preserve him and get him through the playoffs. And maybe he actually gets a ring this way. I don't know. I don't love it, but I don't hate it as much as I did when I first saw it. When I first saw it yesterday, I'm like, what are we doing? Like that guy in that situation doesn't feel like it fits. But if they're not going to try to force him into being the guy and being a 40-minute guy, then maybe it does. Love your thoughts. Chris Paul, that was a big story yesterday before the draft. Chris Paul gets traded for Jordan Poole, essentially. I mean, there was a package of stuff, but goes to the Warriors. 505-246-0610. When we come back, we're going to get into some NFL stuff and look, where is the best fit for DeAndre Hopkins? Is that coming to fruition? And are the Cowboys closer than people think to taking it all? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by Folds of Honor.
Join the Folds of Honor.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sports Animal. How good are the Cowboys this year? I know we're getting there. It's going to be July next week, right? We're getting there. One of you is telling me that on the text line that as a Cowboy fan, he says, I can say with absolute certainty that how good they are is being hyped up to all hell. I don't know. Maybe so you're not believing they're that good. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, DC. So Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence said this, JJ. Quote, I don't feel like it's a huge gap at all. Talking about between Dallas and Philly. Feel like it comes down to certain details, not just the scheme, but also your locker room. I feel like through this time, right now, when we're headed into training camp, that we made those adjustments. We learned those different things that we need to learn about our teammates so we can fully function the way we should out there on the field. I don't know what he said, but he seems to think that it's a pretty short little thing. They split with Philly last year, right? Philly was 14-3. Dallas was 12-5. It's a 2-game difference. Philly won, 40-34 in that Gardner Minshew game? Are they that close, JJ? I think you're there. Are you muted?
The Dallas Cowboys should absolutely be in this conversation now. They absolutely should be. And this isn't be sick of the hype, or here we go again with America's team. You got a star defensive player. You have a solid quarterback. You've invested in the offensive weapons to help that quarterback be better. In the NFC, at this point in time, there is no reason that Dallas should not be pushing to get over that hump. Now, the Cowboys play the San Francisco 49ers in playoffs. Well, we've seen how that's gone the last
every time
few years. But this team should absolutely be in the conversation of, if it's not Philadelphia or San Francisco, who is it?
So you think they're the third best team in the NFC?
Yes.
Okay. I can see where you tell me they should be. I can see where people are telling me, oh, yeah, they should be that. I don't know that I totally buy it. I think that I got Seattle love this year. Like, I got mad Seattle love this year. I don't know why I think Seattle's going to be so good, but I do know why. I like Seattle a lot. I could argue that Detroit might be better. But after that, man, teams have to evolve. After that, you know what, dude? It is time. It is time. With everything that's gone on there, and I don't know if I think they are good enough. I really don't. I don't know that I think they are. I don't know that I believe that that's a quarterback that is good enough to win a championship. I don't know that I'm convinced that you can rely on Tony Pollard as your main guy, but maybe he is. We'll see. I don't know that they have enough offensive weapons. I think they're really good defensively. But it should be the time. It's been how damn long? It's been a quarter of a century plus. And every year I hear that they've got the most talent. They're so talented. They're so talented. Yeah, it probably should be time.
They're not the most talented team. Roster-wise, that's why we are still talking about San Francisco, and we don't know who's playing quarterback. Do you realize how insane that is?
Yes.
For a league where we're just hyper-focused on the position, and yet we can't stop talking about a team that doesn't even know who's going to be their starting quarterback.
Absolutely.
Come week one of the season. So roster-wise, it's San Francisco. I think Philadelphia is still more talented. But when you look at them being close, I don't think that's an outrageous statement from DeMarcus Lawrence. And if you're Dallas, like if not now, when are you going to be able to take that step to be competing, to be in an NFC championship game? Because the NFC, there's a lot of teams that we think are going to take that step. Everyone loves the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I do. I love Seattle.
Seattle, who is, I think, close in this conversation as well. Because when you look at the makeup of the Seahawks, they have two really good wide receivers. Just drafted wide receiver in the first round, so they're continuing to surround Geno Smith with talent. They're young defensively, but they have done fantastic in the draft the last 2 years. If you want to tell me that Seattle is a team instead of Dallas, I think that's a great debate in this conversation. But this is also the point of, all right, you're looking at it. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, all these teams, Dallas, Seattle, Detroit, yeah, you understand the challenge that you're facing talent-wise, roster-wise, chasing down Philadelphia and San Francisco, because those are legit teams with the coaching staffs to back it up. But if not now, when? Because that opportunity to make a run is right now in the NFC.
All right, then who are your 7 playoff teams in the NFC right now? I mean, camp starts next week. Everybody's going to tell me Philadelphia and San Francisco, right? And I know Dallas is going to sneak in there. I'm going to tell you this. It won't blow me away if the Giants are better than Dallas this year. It will not blow me away. I got Philadelphia, Detroit, New Orleans, and San Francisco winning divisions. And as I sit here right now, I would tell you Seattle, Minnesota, and the Giants are your 3 wild card teams. Okay. And with Green Bay knocking on the door, because I think they're going to be better than people think. I only kind of went Minnesota because I think there's so much talent there, and they won a division last year. And I don't know that I think they completely drop off second year in a system with Kevin O'Connell. And I just think there's good young talent. The Packers are totally reliant on Jordan Love. But I got what would I tell you? Philadelphia, Detroit, New Orleans, San Francisco to win the divisions, Seattle, Minnesota, and the Giants. Who you got? 7 teams, NFC.
I will swap out the Giants with the Cowboys and potentially take Minnesota being out. And I could see the Giants, Dallas, and
Giants and Dallas. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have left Dallas out. I probably should have left Dallas out of this. But it's got to be time, right? It's got to be time. I mean, Dallas probably gets in. But you like Minnesota and you like who do you
I think
like
Minnesota would be, if I'm picking a team to take a step back, it'd be the team that won like 9 one-possession games last year.
Right. So that's why I think they're going to be
an outrageous number was of one-possession wins.
That's why I think they're going to be a wild card team. I think Detroit may come up and win that division, but I still think they're good enough to get into the playoffs as a wild card team. You don't?
I don't think it's going to be them falling off the face of the earth, but I think that their luck in some of those games,
well, sure,
it's going to run out because I don't think Minnesota got better.
Okay. Water reaches its level, right? And so, I mean, they're going at some point going to even out. All right, that's fine. All right, there's the NFC. When we come back, let's do AFC. I'll tell you who. I mean, it's early, but let's talk the Steelers a little bit. I mean, let's talk about the AFC because everybody's got a certain thing in the AFC. We could go there. And where does DeAndre Hopkins land? I think I got the right spot for him. And Dalvin Cook may go with him. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting Discover Western
At
Sky.
8 o'clock, we're going to go over. There are a lot of big names, JJ, that did not get drafted that are now signing free agent contracts with NBA teams. You may see the summer league. Names like Drew Timme from Gonzaga, Omari Moore from San Jose State, Adama Sanogo from UConn, who when I watched him in the championship game, I'm like, wow, that guy was a beast. So at 8 o'clock, I'll let you know where some of these guys are signing. Nathan Mensah from San Diego State. Some of that's come out. And then 9 o'clock, we're going to talk some golf. Nick Nee's going to be with us from San Diego Golf Club. All right, JJ, we just did the NFC with camps opening. I mean, it's going to be July next week. So as we go through this, I gave you kind of what I think. The NFC the AFC is way harder. Way harder. I'll give you division winners. I think it's Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, and Kansas City, and I think that's where everybody's going to go. I got a pool of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 teams, and well, probably 6. I mean, for the 3 wild card spots: Baltimore, Cleveland, the Jets, the Chargers, Miami. And I think Pittsburgh's going to be better than people think. And I didn't say the Broncos. And so, I know pick 3 of the 7. If you're going to tell me pick 3 of the 7, I'm going to go Baltimore. I think Cleveland's going to make the playoffs. I think they're the sneaky team that nobody's talking about. I think Cleveland makes the playoffs. And then it comes down to the Jets, the Chargers, or Miami for that last spot, which is crazy. What do you got?
I'm with you on the division winners right now. When it comes to the wild card teams, Miami, Baltimore, and the New York Jets.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're in my pool. We both got Baltimore.
A good team is going to miss the playoffs in the AFC.
Yeah. A few of them, actually. A few of them. I think Pittsburgh's going to be better than people think because they always are. I think Tomlin's just incredible. I think Cleveland's going to be we haven't talked about Cleveland because there was nothing to talk about, right? But they went out and spent $250 million on that quarterback. And by the way, while he was sitting out, they loaded up on defense. They've got one of the best running backs in the game. They've got a number 1 receiver. They've got a good offensive line. Their pass rush is terrific. Like, Cleveland's the one that I'm looking at and just going, nobody's talking about them because they've been so out of sight, out of mind. And I get it. Nobody wants to root for them because nobody likes Deshaun Watson. I get it. The Jets are the one that I think, JJ, I think they might be overhyped.
I think to me, when you look at roster construction and talent, Cleveland and the Jets are the same team.
Okay.
And I still trust Aaron Rodgers more than I do Deshaun Watson.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Totally
and
fair.
Cleveland, though, the kind of the conversation we're having, just had about Dallas. You look, there's superstar defensive end, Myles Garrett. You have the running game. You got a number 1 wide receiver. Like, yeah, they should be competitive this year. They should be competing for a playoff spot.
All right, who do you trust more, Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott? It's not an easy answer.
No, I think that the Cowboys have the easier path in the NFC.
They no doubt, because I think the whole AFC North is good. I know people don't like the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to be better than
Steelers are going to be ridiculously competitive because Kenny Pickett has all the weapons.
Yep.
T.J. Watt healthy back after his injury last season.
Yep, they got a good young running back on a rookie contract. They've got a couple of good wide receivers. I think they're nice. Baltimore now with a motivated, signed Lamar. They went out and got him a shiny new weapon to throw to. Cincinnati is terrific. Like that division, everybody tells me the AFC East is the best division. I'm like, oh, they're really good. Dude, the North is tremendous.
Yeah, the AFC East is deep because, New England's not going to be a slouch. They're not. Even with you look at, last year everyone thought Mac Jones had a really down year. Well, he didn't have a true offensive coordinator, and yet they're still a competitive football team. And now you don't see them leapfrogging, Miami, the Jets, or Buffalo. but it's to me, it's similar to Pittsburgh. You know, they're going to be really competitive. They're not going to be easy games. They're going to take a game or two from a division opponent that you don't expect.
So let me play New England for you. If DeAndre Hopkins signs there, and I do believe that's where he's going. I just think that's where the signs are pointing. I think they need a number one. I think they can afford him. And if Dalvin Cook follows, do you feel differently about New England then? With Mac Jones all of a sudden getting a true number one. He might be on the backside of his career, but DeAndre Hopkins can still ball with just about everybody. And what would you tell me? Dalvin Cook was the sixth leading rusher or the sixth most yards in the NFL last year. So you want to throw Dalvin Cook into that if that happens. And it hasn't happened yet. And I'm not sure it will, but if that goes, do you look differently at them?
Yes. And for the Patriots, that would put them into the sixth or seventh team that will be battling for a wild card spot in the AFC.
Puts them into that pool, right?
Yes.
It puts them into that pool where, I mean, it's kind of weird. It's almost unanimous. Everybody's picking the same division winners, right? I mean, I think almost everybody's on Buffalo.
So we're going to get one of those wrong.
Well, at least one.
But I don't.
And probably
also,
two.
Yeah, but it's also one that if you look at, then I don't see, Cincinnati, Buffalo. All right, if they don't win the division, then I think they're easily wild card teams.
I would agree. But both sides, right? Everybody picked Philadelphia, Detroit, New Orleans, San Francisco, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, and Kansas City, right? I mean, who else is being picked to win a division? Seattle? Not really.
I could swap Seattle and San Francisco. I think at some point in time, even with the roster, the uncertainty at the quarterback position, thinking Brock Purdy's going to be healthy, but not truly knowing, once he starts throwing every day, getting ready for the season, Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, I could see, San Francisco still being very good because that roster is ridiculous, but that being a deciding factor in winning the division.
If Seattle, A, wins the division, but B, makes some noise in the playoffs, we got to have a conversation. Because do you remember where we were 1 year ago on Seattle? 1 year ago on Seattle, they were considered to be the worst team in the National Football League. Like, they don't have a chance. They may win 2 games. They're going to get the number 1 overall pick. And what he did with a rookie running back and rejuvenating Geno Smith and piecing together a defense, Pete Carroll's done a hell of a reclamation job up there because when they traded away Russell Wilson, they're done. Right? Do you remember that conversation?
Oh, yeah.
They're not the worst team in the NFL. All right, when we come back, big names. I mean, big names didn't get drafted yesterday. And they're landing as free agents and signing last night and today and this morning. Got that for you, and you're going to want to know where Drew Timmy's going. And Omari Moore, the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year, and Nathan Mensah, and Adama Sanogo. It's next. Get you the list and some really intriguing spots on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, you watched the draft last night, but not everybody got their name called, right? I mean, there's a lot of names, and as I go through some of these, you're just going to go, oh, yeah, oh, wow. Like, there's a lot of really good players, JJ, who did not get their names called and are trying to find a spot, go to Summer League, and be free agents and try to make their way into the NBA. It's the opening drive. Good Friday morning to you, and thank you for being with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 670 the Sports Animal. The number to get in, if you want to play radio with us, and I've got a lot of correspondence I've already got to get to this morning. It's actually kind of funny. We are remote today because we still having some problems in the studio, and I'm told that I'm disappointed in you, Jeff. Says Lobo Hobo. I figured you'd have a big Gildan, New Mexico Bowl banner behind you.
Ooh, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Ooh, look at you. Are you back in the studio? Yeah. JJ tried to go back to the studio, and he doesn't. I do have the New Mexico Bowl trophy behind me, a little mini trophy behind me. Yeah. So you with me now? You got me, JJ? I see you. All right. I'm working on getting JJ back. So JJ moved back to the studio, but I'm at home because we're having some problems with our microphones. So that's where we are. All right, let me give you some names, and JJ, give me a thumbs up when you're back in with me. But where is I think the biggest name probably from college basketball that you didn't hear, and I don't know that it's a surprise that he didn't get drafted, but he was, as far as college basketball, Drew Timme has been terrific, the Gonzaga star. You with me now, JJ? No. Drew Timme signed a free agent deal with Milwaukee. Drew Timme with Giannis could be really interesting if he somehow makes it through. But we'll watch that. Oscar Tshiebwe, star, a guy that was up, and now I hear you. All right, so you back with me?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, tried it out. They said give it a try, and
it sounded horrible. Yeah, it sounded horrible. I was reading a Lobo Hobo sent me a note. He's watching on the simulcast on ProView Networks, and he said he's disappointed they don't have a New Mexico Bowl banner behind me. And I'm like, well, here's the mini trophy.
You got a trophy. You got some National Broadcaster Association awards. I think that's better than a banner.
We got the red chili and the mariachi. Yeah, there's but I don't have the banner. And by the way, well, never mind. All right, so I was going over some of the stuff, JJ, some of the big names that were not called. And probably Drew Timme is the biggest name to college basketball fans that was not called yesterday, right, in the draft?
Yeah, and this is also goes to show you why NIL can benefit college athletics. Because Drew Timme came back last year, had a fantastic season, made probably more money than he might make this season trying to play professional basketball. So there's still positives for these guys because Drew Timme's not alone. There's a lot of dudes that are going to be fantastic college players that might not have the highest NBA ceiling. But your point on where he's going, that's a team that's looking for some forward help. Brook Lopez is a free agent. He's 35 years old.
That's right. That's right.
They're going to need some guys in the rotation, need some depth. And what can Drew Timme do? He can rebound and he's a big body in the post.
And he can pass.
He can pass the basketball. And you've seen that's very important when you're looking at playing alongside Giannis is forward that can move the basketball. And Brook Lopez evolved his game over the last few seasons. And we know the path to the NBA is not just about those last night, 58 draft picks.
So, did you see who one of his teammates, free agent teammate, is going to be in Milwaukee?
I did.
Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. Omari Moore, San Jose State. Now, Chris Middleton is also a free agent. Yeah. What can Omari Moore do? Score. I mean, again, it's all about location, and fit. And I don't know if these guys are going to stick or if they're going to end up in the G League or if they're going to end up in Europe, but or overseas somewhere. But Omari Moore, what I can tell you is Omari Moore and Drew Timme, like to the Bucks as free agent, and I'll go back and look. I don't know what kind of draft the Bucks had, but this feels like a really good opportunity for both those guys.
Yeah, and it's Milwaukee. It's going to be a challenge because they're an older team. The good teams in the NBA that are able to incorporate young players, like that's special. That's hard to do. When you saw the Nuggets get production in the NBA Finals in the postseason out of Christian Brown, like that doesn't happen with playoff teams. Like this is really hard to do, is crack the rotation as a rookie on good basketball teams. But I think we're just seeing more and more teams understanding that development also comes with opportunity. And you got to give some of these young players an opportunity to get on the court. Omari Moore, though, he's on a two-way deal, so he's going to get his chance. The Bucks are not strangers to players in the Mountain West Conference. Sam Merrill was drafted by them a few years back. He got on the court a little bit, but he's since moved on.
He was a shooter out of Utah State, if you recall.
Guard out of Utah State. And you just want to get in, and you're looking down on the list. Omari Moore getting the call. Taylor Funk is going to play Summer League with the Miami Heat. Funk was the sniper from Utah State.
Well, he's the guy he's the guy who put the Lobos out. Yeah, he put
the Mountain West Conference tournament. They couldn't stop him. He was Laurent Rivard 2.0 in that regard. And then Nathan Mensah.
Nathan Mensah go to Charlotte.
Going to get an opportunity to play some Summer League with Charlotte.
Former Aggie Jabari Rice has signed a free agent deal as well. San Antonio is where he's going to go. So he'll probably play Summer League with Victor Wembanyama. And if nothing else, there will be eyes on his game, right? If nothing else, in the Summer League, Jabari Rice is going to get to go and play, and people will be watching him, and he's got an opportunity. There's a guy, and JJ, I was sitting in the third row for the national championship game, and I don't tell you that to brag. I mean, I watched it close up. I was so impressed with Adama Sanogo from Connecticut, their big guy, and I'm like, holy smokes! Like, he didn't get drafted. He's got opportunities. He just signed a free agent deal with Chicago, right? I look at some of this and I just go, opportunity. How much better is a second round draft pick than any of these guys? And the answer often is they're not. Right? The answer often is they're not any better. And I look at situations where Sanogo's going into Chicago, it feels like a spot. I like Nathan Mensah with an opportunity to make the team in Charlotte, the way he plays defense. Omari Moore and Drew Timme can absolutely make Milwaukee, because if Milwaukee is going to go empty the bank on Middleton and try to keep him there as a free agent, and what they're going to do with Brook Lopez. They're going to be looking for some young, relatively inexpensive talent that can go out and fill a roster.
Yeah, I think it's about just opportunity, showing what you can have. I think it's going to be tough for Mensah, too, that Malik Williams still on that roster from last year, up-and-coming center for Charlotte. But if you show promise, these teams that are, quote-unquote, rebuilding, or you're getting an opportunity to be on the roster, especially if you get a chance to sign a two-way contract like Amari Moore reportedly did with Milwaukee, that's going to be key. So
explain the two-way, because I don't know that people completely understand
what
that means.
There's different. So two-way contract, Amari Moore, it's going G League, and then he can be called up a little bit, and he can play X amount of games with Milwaukee if they like him that much. Some of these other guys are just strictly summer league invites. Like Taylor Funk is not a member of the Miami Heat.
Right,
He's playing on their summer league basketball team.
Right.
But when you see like Amari Moore getting a two-way deal, that is Milwaukee signing him, going, yeah, even if you're not on a roster, you're going to be playing with our G League affiliate.
Which I think is pretty impressive, and it gives you a little bit of security. There'll be more. There's a bunch of guys that continue to sign, and I'm watching this thing as it's a working document, and I'll update you as we go. But there's some other names out there. I don't think Oscar Tshiebwe is signed anywhere yet. Tiger Campbell, Grant Sherfield, names of interest to college basketball fans around here. Tiger Campbell, of course, the point guard at UCLA. And Grant Sherfield, who was so good at Nevada and went on to play at Oklahoma for his final season. But, I mean, when you watch him in the Mountain West Conference, you're like, damn, that guy's a pro, right? Didn't you think that?
Pro at some level. I don't know if he flashed NBA.
Boy, he was. I loved his body. Okay, Grant Sherfield, Phoenix. I just see now. So Phoenix has signed Grant Sherfield. Does Matt Bradley sign somewhere? He's a good college player. I don't know that he's an NBA guy.
He'll be a summer league guy.
You think he's? And that's the San Diego State scorer. So yeah, more and more of these are coming up, and it continues to fill out. Jabari Rice, I think I told you, is going to San Antonio. So there's a lot to watch, and we'll continue to watch it for us. How about Azuolas Tubelis, the big guy from Arizona, another guy who didn't get drafted. He's in Philadelphia. Is that right? A good fit for him? He goes there. His college teammate, or no, his not teammate, his rival, Marcus Bagley from Arizona State's there as well.
Yeah, these are what, when you look at Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Phoenix, you name it, teams that don't have draft capital.
Yeah.
You got to bring in 4 or 5 of these guys, put them on your summer league roster, and see if you can find value.
Find a gem. Find one gem somewhere. All right, 505-246-0610. And if you got any questions, thoughts, reactions on the draft, love to hear from you at 377 Brewery Hotline. The Sports Animal text line is the same number, 505-246-0610. I'll get you some of the stuff that you're sending already because it's good. We have Nick Nee at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk about last week's U.S. Open and the champion, and looking forward to that. Get you a golf tip as well. I got to believe we'll hoe at some point because, well, even though I'm here and you're there, it still is Friday, right? So we got a hoe?
Yes,
it's good to see you in studio, though. It's glad that you went to work today.
They're like, come over and give it a try. Nope.
Yeah, all right. All right. When we come back, would you watch video of yourself getting knocked out? If you, would you sit around and watch it? One guy in the NFL did that. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This report is...
Pitch. There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one hit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective.
It seemed like it'd be something you just kind of want to move on from.
So I think I would want to watch it. I don't know why. I told you about the time I did the iChallenge and went in the ring with a light heavyweight, a pro fighter, and he dropped me. And we watched it 1,000 times, frame by frame. Now, I didn't get knocked out cold. Tua Tagovailoa got knocked out cold on the field. We all watched it, right? We all saw it. He's watched it because he thinks he can help him get better. Quote, it was not tough to watch. I want to get better at everything that I can do to help the team win games, and I know the biggest one is my health, staying out on the field. And so looking at the film, I was able to watch that with my jiu-jitsu coach, and we were able to kind of relive the scenario and how I got tackled, how I fell, end quote. I don't know that watch it. I mean, I'd watch it, but I don't know that I mean, how's it? Somebody's going to have to explain this to me. He got ragdolled, right? Is jiu-jitsu going to help you fall differently? He didn't fall. He got thrown. Like how? I mean, I could see wanting to watch it. I would probably want to watch myself getting knocked out too. But how's that going to help you?
Well, in jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts, you're getting thrown around with no helmet on.
Right.
And so you absolutely have to learn different techniques and strengthen different things in your body. And that's one of the things, too, I was talking about in this interview is the different kind of muscles and techniques that you're using in jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts. And I think that's why we see more people in the off-season training different things to get a different perspective. And if you're Tua, you're trying anything, because what we witnessed him go through last year, it went from people saying you should never step on a football field again.
Yep.
To, you know what, Miami Dolphins are going to the playoffs. And so I appreciate the work that he's putting in. If you're looking at jiu-jitsu, if you're learning how to fall, is there a skill involved with that? I'm sure there is.
I think there is. No, I think there is. I think there is.
Now,
but I don't
there's
know
some things that are going to be unavoidable in the game of football.
Well, I don't know that he fell as much as he got thrown. And so can it help? Sometimes it's going to be out of your control. But I guess there is something to it, right? You're taught how to fall when you play football. You're taught, when you get tackled and how to protect yourself. And I think martial arts is the same thing. I think there's a lot to it. So I do believe that you can learn how to fall, but I also believe that there's going to be certain situations where, yo, man, like you just got threwed around like a rag doll, and I know threwed is it's not right English, but you got thrown around. You can't help yourself. Are they the team to beat in the AFC East? I mean, you and I both believe that it's Buffalo.
We picked Buffalo.
I believe they're better than the Jets. I think they're better than the Jets. I do.
I think what the Miami Dolphins have done is a great example of how you can make a good quarterback look great. Because there were times last year Tua looked great, and he was an MVP conversation early, and it's surround him with talent. The question that people keep talking about with the Miami Dolphins, who's not trying to figure it out, is the offensive line. That's going to be the main thing in trying to keep Tua healthy, is him taking less hits in a season. But I think of the teams that are in the conversation, I think the Miami Dolphins could be most explosive of the bunch. And you look at what they did, the Bradley Chubb trade with the Denver Broncos. I didn't have a huge factor last year, but now he's got an offseason, and he's got Vic Fangio. And
Yep.
Vic Fangio can coach the heck out of a defense.
Just can't be a head coach.
And so you got Mike McDaniel, that offense, how explosive they are. Tyreek Hill's not going to get suspended for like a year and a half, right? These things take forever usually, unless there's like a plea deal in his alleged assault case in Miami. Like, they're the team of that bunch we're talking about in the wild card. I think it has the highest upside. Although, by the way, you know who's playing corner for them too? Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Rams gave that up. All right, let's go to the phones. 505-246-0610. That's the 377 Brewery Hotline. James, good morning. How you living?
Bruin James at that.
Oh, yeah, with Jaime Jaquez going 18th overall. You're Bruin James. No, that's right. Bruin James.
Hey, just want to let you know that this kid from France, going to San Antonio and stuff like that, couldn't be best. It couldn't be better for him. Going and playing for Greg Popovich is probably the closest thing to go into playing for John Wooden or something like that. A good coach, a good mentor, father figure, a guy that's going to work with you, a guy that's going to communicate with you, a guy that is a good, great guy. A good coach. And, I think highly of Greg Popovich being a veteran and all this stuff and all the things he did at Occidental here in Southern California. And, I think the world of him. And for this young kid to go and play for him straight up, from the jump, it's the best. So I wish the kid best of luck. I'd like to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's in the right spot. No, thanks,
it's
James.
gonna be good. And
Yeah, appreciate you. I think, was he saying something on Jaime Jaquez? I think it's absolutely a great spot for him. You made a point earlier that typically, and not always, the teams with the first picks are not good, and San Antonio is not good, but very often they've got a young, unproven coach. That doesn't mean he's not a good coach. It's a coach who's trying to figure it out in the league. This is a coach who's won, 5 championships? Considered to be one of the best that's ever done it, and this is what he's walking into. So, yeah, I think everybody unanimously agrees that Victor Wembanyama is it, and he's going to a place in San Antonio where he doesn't get engulfed in the media market that would be New York, Brooklyn, Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, right? He's going to one of the smallest markets in the league, one of probably the most friendly media markets in the league, where he's going to get an opportunity to go and probably what every rookie should get the opportunity to do is go fail a little bit and learn and grow.
Yeah, and as we've seen, he is already incredibly composed. He understands that aspect. He said that he wants to be the best at everything, including media. And when you hear him speak, when he answers the questions about his journey, about the hype that's surrounding him being an overall pick that's supposed to save a franchise, win a championship, he is incredibly composed. And I don't see Victor Wembanyama failing in the NBA at all. Like, this dude is going to be a good player. He's going to be the greatest of all time. You know, the hype that comes with being the best prospect since LeBron James, that is always an unbelievable level to achieve. But I think he's going to be a very good basketball player in the NBA.
Well, that's a lot of hype, and I don't know that it's fair hype. But by every measure, he's going to be really, 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 really good. And you know, at 7'5", I think the biggest issue here, honestly, I'm not worried can he play. I'm not worried can he bang. It's durability. Can he play? I almost said an 82-game schedule, which is kind of cute. But I mean, even if can he play 60 games a year, right? Is that a fair number to ask of an NBA player out of the 82
yeah. He'll
to play 2/3?
I think when you
Or
look at the
three-quarters?
work he puts in, like I'm there. I'm buying. I'm believing in this guy being successful.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. That's where we are. That's how to get to us on the 377 Brewery hotline and the Sports Animal text line. And want to hear from you on all of that stuff that we've been going through on the draft. Got a question for you when we come back. Local teams. One of our emailers said, who's the most desperate this weekend of the local teams? We're going to get into that a little bit on the local angle. And 9 o'clock this morning, Nick Nee is going to be with us, and looking forward to talking to him about the U.S. Open winner last week, where we had just a tremendous Wyndham Clark winning over Rory McIlroy. What it means for Rory, what it means for Wyndham, and what Nick says about that. I want to get you over to John Thomas Jewelers when you have jewelry needs. And why John Thomas Jewelers? Because they're different, they're better, and they're unique. And I tell you about custom jewelry. And what does custom jewelry mean? This place is different. This isn't a mall jeweler where you just walk in and you're pressured to buy something out of a case. John Thomas Jewelers does more custom jewelry in a week than most jewelers do in a year, and that's because they do it right there on premises. They've got incredibly talented repair people and designers. They're jewelers. They're top-of-the-line people. So when you're looking to design your own piece, when you're looking to make her your wife, when you're looking for that engagement ring, when you're looking for that special piece, anniversary, birthday, wedding, whatever it is, go see John. They'll walk you through it, and it'll be comfortable. And you're like, Jeff, I don't know how to design jewelry. No, I don't either, man. But they will walk you through it, and you'll pick the band, and then you pick the stone and the shape and the size and the color and all these things, and it's a fascinating process. And right now, with any purchase of $5,999 or more, you get a 7-night all-inclusive trip to the Dominican Republic. So it's perfect for couples who are looking to get engaged. You get that ring and you get the honeymoon. Or if you're looking to celebrate an anniversary, jewelry and a trip. Or really anyone looking to just get away. It's not a contest. This is with any purchase of $59.99. The trip is yours. The food, the drinks, the tropical destination, they're giving it away while supplies last. It's on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal, directly east of the Coronado Mall. It's John Thomas Jewelers. Go to johnthomasjewelers.com. John Thomas Jewelers. If you can dream it, they will make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Last night again in Reno, I think 14-6 was the number. A bunch of you were in on that. Man, JJ, people are pissed when local teams are losing. Isotopes are struggling. United hasn't won in their last 5 outings in over a month. Gladiators are struggling. So I got this text or this email from Ron. Most desperate team this weekend, the United or Gladiators? Yes. I mean, both, right? Probably Gladiators because there's less time in the season, less time for them to make up. They got to start winning, where United's got a little less than 2/3 of the season left. So I would go Gladiators.
Yes, in that framework, looking at the schedule, what is left? Go with the Indoor Football League team.
Gladiators are home this weekend, and you can get out there this weekend and encourage you to do so. United also home against Colorado Springs Switchbacks, so they will be out at the ball pitch tomorrow night. This is from Gene. He says we should be better than this. He's talking about the Isotopes. Jeff, with our history, our facilities, our fan support, Albuquerque's AAA franchise should be better than this. This was once a premier program in the PCL, but now they're a club the other team schedules as their homecoming opponent, like Reno did on Tuesday afternoon game. They're really struggling, You get a reset next week. For those of you who don't know, the Pacific Coast League this year has gone to a 2 half seasons. So they'll completely clean your record halfway through. The winner of the first half will play the winner of the second half in the playoffs. And so they got a chance to reset. But I don't know what shows you what you've seen out of this club that makes you feel, all right, the second half's going to be way better.
Jeff.
JJ.
I'm going to need some help to get that worked up about the Isotopes record.
I'm trying to get you there. I'm trying to get you there. Here, I'll read you another one. All right, you want another one? Maybe this will get you worked up. Ren came up with a new fantasy team name. Jeff, to go along with the OD classics like Curse of the New Mexico Bowl and Where's Brad Hutchins, I present Thank Gosh for Syracuse. Because without Syracuse, Albuquerque's baseball team would have the worst record in AAA baseball by a mile. Ooh, does that get you fired up? That was not it? That's not doing it for you?
I think that is definitely generational. Like if you grew up with the Dukes winning and that being something that mattered, then I can see how you care about it. But to me, minor league baseball is just great experience. Those dudes trying to get ready, be prepared for Major League Baseball, and not really worried from me, a fan standpoint, of what the scoreboard says.
Yeah. All right. Omar says, you asked the softball question of the year, Jeffy. Let me hit it out of the gym for you. You asked, would you rather be the Rams and mortgage your future for one belt, or would you rather be the Dallas Cowboys and expected to compete for championships every season? You better believe I'd rather be Omar and anticipate an outstanding year every single season. All right.
And then come up short every single season.
So we're both happy.
This is it's the elbow of Matthew Stafford. This has nothing to do with trading too many first-round picks are signing the wrong players. If Matthew Stafford's elbow doesn't give out, that is still a playoff caliber football team. Like it's to me, this is
and
zero
Cooper Kupp
question
doesn't
about
get hurt. Cooper,
Yeah.
I mean, they lost.
Yeah,
right?
it was a perfect storm of bad things happened that had nothing to do with the draft picks that they traded. And they had a Super Bowl parade, and you just get to sit there and think you're going to be good.
And talk about what happened over a quarter century ago when your team was really good. Whereas Ram fan got to experience it.
And I went
2
through that
years
same
ago.
exact thing this morning. I'm like, Dallas should be good. Let's go. The time is now. But you know what's a lot better than that?
What? The time has just been, and I just watched a parade and watched my team win a Super Bowl championship.
The fact that you can put on a championship shirt that doesn't have a bunch of holes in it.
That wasn't printed a quarter of a century plus ago. Yeah, that actually happened in this century. Yeah, I think that's the beauty, Omar. Everybody, we both win on this because Ram fan is going, cool, man. You keep having your underachieving seasons. And the Rams have been to 2 Super Bowls in the last, 5 years and won one of them? I don't know, man. Cowboys have done what? Complained about their quarterback and cried about everything. And, I mean, I don't know. Be who you'd rather be. I'm not going to. I tell you all the time, man. I'm not going to tell you how to be a fan. But this is one of those situations where you win and I win. Right? All right, yeah, the Rams aren't very good. But I experienced a Super Bowl championship 2 years ago. You? Well, you're expected to be good every year. Yeah, we might be good. This could be the year. We're America's team. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm down with that. All right, Buffalo Bills extended their head coach and their general manager. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott both got extended this morning through the 2027 season. What is this, 23? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 5 years. So this year will be their 7th together. They've committed, and you know how this works, to another 5. But since being hired in 2017, the general manager, Beane, basically is overseeing the construction of this team, right? Drafted Josh Allen, hit. Traded for Stephon Diggs. I think they hit. He's drafted Tre'Davious White and Deion Dawkins and a bunch of guys, right? Executive of the Year honors. McDermott, the head coach, 62-35. He's 4-5 in the postseason. I think this feels right, doesn't it? I mean, Buffalo seems to love what's going on up there. And I keep saying they need to make a move. I mean, they are widely considered the 3rd best team in the AFC. But they kind of got to make a move, don't they? They got to be a little bit better than that, because how long are you going to sit around and say, yeah, if it wasn't for Mahomes and Burrow, we'd be great. At some point, you got to figure out how to be great with those guys there, because your window's going to shut.
Well, that's
you just
thinking. Thinking about Buffalo. Josh Allen is going to keep that window open for a while.
I agree with that.
And it's and that's the thing. It's the whole, just because Patrick Mahomes is there, just because Joe Burrow is there, you don't give up. I think Buffalo is going to have an extended window with or without Stephon Diggs in the coming future, because Josh Allen's that guy. And in the AFC, if you're taking Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, it's Josh Allen or Justin Herbert after that for the foreseeable future. So that's why McDermott get extensions, because they drafted and developed Josh Allen. He has blown everyone away. And that window, now kind of with this older, Von Miller, Stephon Diggs, it's going to look different, but Josh Allen's going to be able to keep that window open for a while.
Yeah. All right. Nick's going to be with us. Nick Neef, the director of golf out at the San Diego Golf Club. He's coming up at 9 o'clock. We get you a golf tip and look back at last week's U.S. Open, which was really fun. What he thought of LA Country Club, and what does it mean now for Wyndham Clark moving forward? Is Wyndham Clark now on that stage with these great young golfers? Looking forward to having that conversation with Nick when we return. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust.
Household name, Wembanyama. Yep, you'll figure it out. And actually, you'll like his game, and you'll go, wow, he's really good, and this French guy, and it's something else. It's the opening drive as we go over the draft. And the big story yesterday, JJ, was the Chris Paul trade, right? Chris Paul, at 38 years old, got traded from the Warriors traded to the Warriors days after getting traded from Phoenix to the Wizards. The Wizards turned him around and get Jordan Poole. The Wizards would get it protected 2030, which feels like forever from now. 2030 first-round pick, a second-round pick in 2027. Paul's $30 million contract is non-guaranteed, and the Warriors will cut almost $100 million in salary off the books with the Poole trade. So it opens up a lot of room for Golden State. I mean, if you're going to tell me, who would I rather have, Jordan Poole or Chris Paul? I'd rather have Jordan Poole, but it didn't work there anymore, right? When this is Golden State to me, and Mike Dunleavy Jr., their new general manager, and Steve Kerr, their head coach, telling Draymond, all right, dude, we got rid of that dude you punched in the face. Right? I mean, literally, we want you back.
So Jordan Poole did nothing wrong.
No,
he played bad in the playoffs.
He wasn't good in the playoffs.
And not playing well in the playoffs with the issues that Draymond Green caused, that Draymond Green brought to the table.
No doubt.
Has him on the outs. But this move for the Warriors, your initial reaction is, are they better with Chris Paul? You cannot say that they're better with Chris Paul, but it opens up more avenues for them to attack the next 2 to 3 years with Steph Curry still playing a high-level basketball differently. They can bring back Draymond Green and Klay Thompson for this short run and be able to add some pieces on the roster following next season when Chris Paul's contract falls off and they have all that cap space.
So I believe they're going to do something off the wall. I think they're going to go somewhere, right? Because what this says is, okay, now you can go re-sign Draymond and Klay. Because you got all this cap space. You can keep the band together and go put pieces around him. Chris Paul comes off the bench. He's your backup point guard. He gives you 20 minutes a game. He spells Steph. You try to keep him healthy. You don't have to run his body. So hopefully, like every other year, he doesn't break down in the playoffs. But do you get a weird feeling they're going to do something kind of off the wall here?
No, because they don't have a lot of wiggle room right now.
Well, if they don't sign Klay Thompson, they do. Mm-hmm. Don't they?
Still not a lot.
I just wonder.
We have a ton of space. Because I think if you with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, Chris Paul, bench players, that's a competitive team. And that's all you can ask for right now is give Steph Curry the best opportunity.
Who is the second most valuable piece on that team? Steph Curry is number one. Who is, and I want you to consider Klay, Draymond, who are both they're both free agents, Wiggins, Chris Paul, anybody else you want to throw in there. Who is the second most valuable piece on that team?
Andrew Wiggins.
I think that's right. Okay, that's where I was going too. And I know people are going to go, what are you talking about, right? But I think that's right. And so he's signed, so you don't have to worry about that. So now what do? Who's more important to you, Draymond Green or Klay Thompson? Because I could see a scenario now where they split up the Splash Brothers, that Klay Thompson does go somewhere else.
And that's not crazy. It's just time. And Father Time, you look at where Klay Thompson is, 34 years old. His story was amazing. Coming back from a knee injury, an Achilles injury, and being on that Warriors team that won an NBA championship. That's why I think ultimately they'll rework short-term deals with Draymond Green and Klay Thompson.
Short-term, meaning 2 years?
2-3 year deals, probably with an option at the end to where it doesn't bury them. But with what cap space is opening, it gives them flexibility to do something a little bit more by being able to have those guys under contract and then see, all right, can you squeeze out sixth man of the year stuff from Chris Paul this season and then go from there.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to watch this because there's also the sentiment there, and there's a lot about loyalty in that organization, right? They've shown their loyalty to Draymond by getting rid of Jordan Poole, even though you punched that guy in the face and you created the problem that we have. And Steve Kerr flat out said it lingered, right? It was a big reason he feels they didn't win a championship. You kept the guy who punched the guy in the face and got rid of the other guy, the guy who received the punch and got dropped. I think there's going to be some perceived loyalty to Klay too. I think you're right. I think while I see a scenario where they split him, I think you're right on a short-term deal, and they're going to try to run this thing back. I mean, if you tell me, like I got Wiggins and Draymond Green to go with Curry and Klay Thompson, I love what I got. I still love what I got.
And now the challenge for the Warriors, because they have struggled with this, can they get their young guys to contribute? They're one of those teams that it's been veteran or bust. You have lottery picks. You have a Jonathan Kuminga, a Moses Moody, a guy that was mid-first round draft pick. Can you fit them into rotation? Can you give them an opportunity? Because that will help this team compete at a higher level.
All right. We're going to talk some golf when we come back. U.S. Open was last week. A guy that maybe you hadn't heard of before, or I don't know, maybe you had. Wyndham Clark won the U.S. Open. What does that mean? Is he a guy to watch now? Is he a guy that you need to put up there with those best players in the world, or was it a one-hit wonder? And what about Rory, who, by the way, is near the top of the leaderboard again today? Nick Nee, Director of Golf at San Diego Golf Club, is with us next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home,
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides it.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Well, it was a fun weekend last weekend. The U.S. Open was different. It looked different. It was at a different spot, the L.A. Country Club, and you had a different champion, Wyndham Clark, a first-time major champion, and a guy with Albuquerque ties. His dad was a multi-time state tennis championship at Albuquerque Academy. His mom, former Miss New Mexico, went to St. Pius, and it was a fresh face, but I know a lot of you were rooting for the guy who finished one stroke back, and Rory McIlroy. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. We'll get back to your calls coming up in a little bit. Travelers is going on the PGA this weekend. Eric Cole, Denny McCarthy are your leaders at -10. One back. Hey, look at that. Rory McIlroy, one stroke back again, along with Adam Scott, Corey Connors, and a bunch of others. Rory had a hole-in-one yesterday in Connecticut. Glad to be joined now by one of the great voices in golf in our community, the director of golf out at the beautiful Sandia Golf Club, Nick Nee, joins us this morning on the opening drive. Good morning, Nick. How you living?
I'm doing well. Happy Friday. How are you all doing?
Yeah, excellent. Happy Friday. What'd you make of the Open, Nick? Did you enjoy watching it? Did you like the venue? What'd you make of last week?
You know, I liked all of it. I thought it was a great test. Wyndham Clark, obviously, to get to double digits in that victory was unbelievable. The venue, you know, you kind of heard rumblings of spectator size and things of that nature, but you know, that is what it is. You got to understand the facilities you're at, the location, and that's just part of where it's at. But what a cool golf course! What a fun little or tough track that they have to play. I thought it set up extremely well. The USAA did a great job of making sure that the integrity of the golf course stayed intact and played as how they wanted it to be designed. And I thought it was a great, in terms of a spectator, it was awesome to watch. You had theater and drama everywhere you turned. You know, Rory sitting there not wishing for a three-putt at the end, but hoping for one. You know, you wish you would have saw Ricky kind of play a little bit better. But the good thing for Ricky in the game of golf is it's all about progression and where you go, because you're going to fail more times than you win, and he's going to be back up there. He's playing tremendous golf. And so, again, the entire picture, I think it was a great championship.
You know, there were a lot of people that were complaining that -10 is way too low for a winner at the U.S. Open to go, that the course was too easy. But in reality, 18 of the 156 golfers, 18 18 finished that tournament under par. Justin Thomas struggled. You watch some big names struggle, right? And if you take out kind of the top three, Wyndham Clark, Rory, and Scheffler, Cameron Smith at 6, Ricky at 5. The scores weren't ridiculous. What do you say to that? Because I especially after the first day, you had two guys breaking the U.S. Open record in Ricky and Xander Schauffele shooting a 62, which is unheard of at an Open.
I agree. The one thing I'll say is you can't hone in on one guy's score. And rather than that, why not we just celebrate what he did, because it was tremendous. And he played unbelievable golf for 4 rounds. But there's sometimes factors within the game of golf, being the outdoor sport, that you just can't control. You can't control the marine layer. You can't control weather
elements,
to some extent. So if it plays soft and gettable, then that's how it plays. And the people that take advantage of it, we need to reward that performance. And Wyndham Clark did tremendous. You had the record-setting rounds by Ricky, and then 18 minutes later, here comes Xander. I tend to look at it as it's going to determine, just like the NCAA tournament, I'll say, we don't look at the 68 teams that make it. We celebrate the one. But it's going to pick out who the best team, and in the U.S. Open, it's going to pick who the best player is playing that week to award the U.S. championship. Again, you said it perfectly. You have 18 of the 156. Like, if you look at that stat, that is unbelievable, and that shows you that it's a tough test, and it's going to determine who the best champion is. And Wyndham Clark played tremendous golf for 72 straight holes, and I tend to look at it as, I'm going to tip my cap to that, because what he did is unremarkable, and the 18
it is remarkable.
Par should be very proud of the performance they put out, because there's only 18 of 156 that actually kept it in red figures.
Nick Nee is the director of golf out at the San Diego Golf Club with us on the Sports Animal this morning.
Nick, what do you appreciate about a golfer? I think Ricky Fowler has been one of the most polarizing figures that we talk about, because he came up, he's a young kid, hyped on the scene, and he's not out there winning a bunch of majors, so people think he's a failure. But he, coming in to the U.S. Open, he had 6 top 10s this year. He's really consistent. So what do you appreciate as a golfer when you watch some of these guys that are playing at a consistent level?
I just appreciate their demeanor and how they go about playing the game. Obviously, the outside extracurricular, Ricky's sitting there signing autographs after not playing very well on Sunday. He is a polarizing figure, 1,000% correct on that. From every angle, from a marketing standpoint to PR to apparel with Puma, and now with him coming back, the resurgence of what he's able to do and be a comeback player and get back to the top player in the world that he knows he can get to. But in terms of any golfer, I just look at the demeanor, how do they act when they hit bad shots, and how do they go about their round of golf. I appreciate just how they go about their business to be the best player in the game. And we only get to see 18 holes on a given day, and it just shows kind of the work that they're probably going to put into it. I just appreciate how they act and how they carry themselves throughout the round of golf, and then maybe a little bit after. But Ricky's fun. He's just a great guy that understands that he's got a great platform. But Wyndham Clark does too, and I think a lot of the players that I tend to follow, Victor Hovland, they just go about their business in a very professional manner, but they carry themselves in a very professional manner as well.
Nick, one of the things, too, you talked about the consistency, and it's being able to take your medicine. And I got to believe that's probably one of the hardest things for these guys to think about, because they're the best at what they do, and I think they can hit every shot. And I just keep kind of going back to Xander Schauffele trying to get out of the bunker, or when you see guys get stuck in those big bunkers, trying to hit that long shot out, and it bounces right back. And just taking your medicine has to be important in that tournament atmosphere.
100% correct, JJ, and kind of funny I hate to laugh at Xander, but we all have been there, so it's kind of nice to see that they're a tad human, right? And yes, taking your medicine is tough in this game, and we all are at fault for it. Those guys, I can't imagine how hard it is, because I can't play at the level that they play at by any means. But when you can say bogey, especially in a U.S. Open or PGA Championship or the Masters or the Open Championship or these big-time events, when you can get out of there, make a bogey to try and keep a round somewhat held together, or sometimes you kind of get yourself out of trouble and you squeak out a par here or there, and even though it's a par, it feels like a birdie because you got out of position.
Yeah.
Taking that medicine is key because you can't – the game of golf is a game of misses, right? We're not going to hit every shot perfect. Those guys don't hit every shot perfect. Now, they hit a lot of really good shots and quality shots, a lot better than what I can do or what we can do as recreational players. But it's a game of misses. Once we can understand where our miss is going to be, then we can tailor our game and golf our ball, so to speak, to that, and be able to play some good golf. But taking your medicine is a tough pill to swallow because you want to hit the hero shot, and that's a lot more fun to hit. It's just, unfortunately, sometimes you got to swallow the pill and take a bogey and move on.
Eating that stroke's tough. I don't care if you play for the Open or for $5. Eating that stroke is hard, and you just got to do it. Nick Nee's with us, the director of golf out at San Diego Golf Club. All right, so is Wyndham Clark, he's the U.S. Open champion. Is he now one of the best players in the world? He's won twice in the last month and a half. Should we start looking at him in the ilk of, if not a Rahm and a Scheffler, a Morikawa, a Xander? I mean, or are we never going to hear from him again?
Great question, Jeff. I think if you look at, what he is on the PGA Tour, I think he has, 10 top 10 or 16 top 10 finishes in his career, 10 of them within the calendar year of 2023. 2 of those are wins, the Wells Fargo, now the U.S. Open. It's hard to say. I don't want to anoint him too quickly. It's hard to say that he's not going to be up there with the Xanders and things of that nature because he is playing unbelievable golf. And mind you, he has only been on the PGA Tour for 3 seasons.
Yep.
And to have the amount of quality golf that he has, now a major championship to go along with it, it's hard not to think that he can't sustain what he's doing and be at the top. He may not be the Scheffler or Rahm right now. Could he? Absolutely. And I think he's got the game to do it. And we'll just kind of see how it plays out. But you look at his track record in his first 3 years on the tour, when you can have the finishes that he has, 2 of them being wins at really tough golf courses, it's hard not to think that he can get to that level. And it'd be cool to see because I think he's got a tremendous story. And that's what is great about the game of golf. It's an individualized sport that you get these great individualized stories and storylines that come out of it. I hope that he's up there because I think he's a fun and entertaining guy to watch play the game of golf, and thankfully we got to see it for 4 rounds at LA Country Club.
And he's got New Mexico ties, which I think could draw some people around here into. All right, one more thing before we get to the golf tip. Rory's so close. There he was, 1 stroke out, and he's been playing so solid. Nick, he gets one of those long putts to go, we could be having a completely different conversation. And he burned edges all week. He just couldn't get the ball close enough. But we're looking from 25 feet out all week long, and he damn near made almost every one of them. Where is he? Is he as close as he think he is? Because I believe he is. It looks like every part of his game is good, except for he's not getting the ball close enough.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And I think his quote is so spot on with where he is mentally. We talk about the demeanor and kind of how they carry themselves. One reason I loved Rory, you see the quote of him, when I win that next major, it's going to be even sweeter. And that quote that he had, it kind of speaks to where he's at. He understands that he's playing really good golf. He's going to break through. He just is not going to – he's going to continue to work at it is kind of where I got, if I read between the lines, is I'm going to put in the work because I know how great it's going to be and I know how close I am. Is kind of what I took from that, and I think his game is there. And that's, the game of golf. Sometimes it goes here, sometimes it goes there, and you just kind of have to hold it together between the lines and ultimately come out on top. So, I think he's close, and I think, like I said, his quote read to me that he is going to work his tail off and do what he can to get to the top because he knows how close he is, and he knows that one putt is going to fall. That one bounce back into the fairway, whatever it is that's going to go in his favor, he's going to get in. It's going to be even sweeter, and the work that he's willing to put in will make it that sweet.
All right, what do you got for a golf tip? Make us all better.
What's that?
What do you got for a golf tip to make us all better?
I got you. A little early extension again. Today we're going to put a folding chair, just outside your lead side, so left hip. It's going to attach to kind of the end of your leg there, and what you're going to do is on the downswing you're going to shift that left hip to touch the top of the chair, and then you're going to turn inside of it. What that's going to do is that's going to help sequence us and stay in our posture as we click the chair on the downswing and then turn inside of it to maintain that posture. So don't early extend, hit weak shots to the right or weak shots to the left for a left-handed player. Again, put that chair right up against your left hip as it's unfolded. And what you're going to do is take top of the swing, click that hip to it, and then work the downswing and turn inside that chair. Again, it's going to help with sequence, but more importantly, it's going to help with no early extension, be able to get the club online, hit solid shots, but also they're going to be a little bit more powerful.
Wow. All right. No, I wouldn't have thought of that. I love, like, where do you guys come up with this stuff? Just curious. Like some of the drills you come up with are tremendous. And I'm like, how do you figure this stuff out?
You know, I'll give you a quick shout out. There's a guy, Henry Statina, down in Las Cruces. He is a wonderful instructor. He has a bunch of drills online, and really what you see, what I do is try and educate myself, because I'm not the smartest by any means, and see what other people are doing, go try it, see if it's effective in my game, or try it on the lesson, see if a player is struggling with that. And if we see some success, then tailor it a little bit to what you want it to be and put your own spin on it, and then incorporate that into your teaching, methods and certainly in your toolbox to help players get better. That's where I get it from, is just Golf Digest. I got a good friend, like I said, Henry, down in Las Cruces. And I try and educate myself on what other coaches and instructors are doing, people that are better and smarter than me in this business, and try and take it from them a little bit and then put my own spin to help my players here at Sandia.
You're pretty damn smart and really, really good. All right, what's going on out at Sandia Golf Club?
Yeah, again, daily deals online. We're running new specials, especially middays, 11 to 2. It's going to be hot, so pack some water, get some Gatorade. We got you fueled up in the golf course grill. Again, 14 new items on that menu. But click that daily deals. You're going to get a text message with when those daily deals drop, when you can get the best rates here at Sandia Golf Club. Our twilight starts at 2 o'clock. Juniors play free with a paid adult under the age of 16. Stop into the restaurant grill, say hi to Ernie, check out one of their new menu items. And at the end of the day, if it's not Sandia, get out and play. But we certainly hope you sign up for the daily deals. Get out here, play Sandia Golf Club. It's in fantastic shape, and hope to see everyone out on the tee here.
It's all at Sandia. It's all at SandiaGolfClub.com. We'll talk to you next week. Always appreciate you, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great week.
Be well. Nick Nee, Director of Golf out at Sandia Golf Club. All right, when we return, a little conversation on how the Mountain West is responding to San Diego State. And there's been this question, JJ, why is San Diego State not getting everything they want? Why is the Mountain West being so hard on San Diego State? I'll give you one educated opinion on that. It's probably going to coincide with yours. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Registration is now open for the Lobo Cancer Challenge. Cancer can affect anyone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and...
Happy Friday, boys and girls. Thank you, Friday. Does DC hoe? Did he hoe? Or does he just like, I mean, what are you, too cool to hoe?
He's the conductor.
Oh, he can't, he's like too cool to hoe back there? All right. Happy Friday to you. We're back at taking your phone calls on the 377 Brewery Hotline, 505-246-0610. And on the Sports Animal text line, 505-246-0610. Emails come in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We'll get to these. I got a bunch of your correspondence, and boy, I got stuff on the Browns, on the Cowboys, on Jordan Poole. So we're going to go there. JJ, going into the break, I teased the San Diego State story, and I've been asked a lot, and I heard on our air yesterday, why is the league not just letting San Diego State go, and why are they holding them to the letter of the law? And you got 11 other schools
letting
that are
them
being
go.
Yeah, well, right, and why wouldn't they grant them their extra month? And you got 11 other schools who are sitting back that have to go on, right? And I don't know if it's
this is a business, baby, and there's no friends in business.
It's straight business, right? So Mark Ziegler, who you know, and writes for the San Diego Union Tribune, he's the San Diego State beat writer. He was on the Canzano and Wilner podcast to talk about San Diego State's status within the Mountain West, and specifically, and I think this is unfair on his part, and maybe I'm wrong, but he's putting the majority of the blame, if it's blame or responsibility for the way the Mountain West is handling this on the commissioner, on Gloria Nevares. And she's a new commissioner. She's took over on January 1. And JJ, you and I talk about commissioners all the time. They are doing the business of their membership, right? I got to believe Gloria is not going out and making statements / policy on her own without the consult of her membership and probably doing what the presidents are directing her to do. Don't you believe that?
I do believe that.
All right. So Ziegler was having a conversation on this podcast, and he was talking about Commissioner Nevares and said that his initial impression with the commissioner was, quote, that everything was very collegial, end quote. And he said that the league would be understanding if San Diego State opted to leave. Ziegler says, quote, and that was the last time she spoke on the record about this. I think the problem with the letter, he's talking about the letter that San Diego State sent and then it came back from the league. He said, I think the problem is with the letter is once it got out, it leaked out in the public. I think she probably, I'm just guessing, he says, felt like I've got to get the back of all these other schools that are in my conference, and I've got to publicly be tough. So all of a sudden, she's taken a very contentious approach, it seems. She stopped talking to the media after being very open, saying, call me anytime, I'll talk about everything. I'm very transparent. She won't return any messages or talk, and so I think she's probably just getting the back of the other 11. At the end of the day, I don't think there'll be any hard feelings, end quote. I don't know, man. I think she's got the back of her membership because her membership has basically directed her to have their back. Don't you think
that was a wild statement?
Don't you think?
To get back and be like, oh, it has it out for San Diego State, but ultimately just there to have the back of all the other members. The shoe was on the other foot, and this was Boise State. That was like, hey, we're bouncing, and we want an extension, and it wasn't San Diego State. You think Mark Ziegler would be sitting there screaming that Boise State should get a break and shouldn't have to pay up if they leave the conference? No. Not at all. So for him to sit there and be like, oh, they're doing San Diego State dirty. No, you want to leave. Okay, leave. But you ain't got nowhere to go. And there's a buyout in this process. You know, there's still
and
money
you were part of
involved
negotiating that buyout. You
in
were
college
involved.
Athletics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is nothing on a new commissioner doing anything wrong. It says it right there in writing. All right, you want to go to a new conference? Fantastic. You owe $16 million by June 30th. After that, it will double. And if you can't afford that, then leave and keep your fingers crossed that the Pac-12 picks you up.
Well, and there will be litigation, right? And if you don't adhere to it, you are part of negotiating this buyout, the way this is. I don't think you're wrong. Now, the argument is from San Diego State's side, and it was somewhat Boise State's argument at the time too, look what we have done for this league, right? We have brought you a lot of money, first and foremost, and a lot of notoriety, and we've got an opportunity, and you all would take it, and so we're asking for is another month. And yeah, they've done a lot for the league. They brought in a lot of money. They have brought in a lot of notoriety. But I'm going to go back to premise one. It is a business. And these other schools, I got to believe, are sitting there just going, yeah, it's a business, and that's great. And you're going to what you believe are bigger and better things, although you don't know where the hell you're going right now. Nobody's evidently extended an offer to you. And I think we all believe there's going to be a place for San Diego State in either the Pac-12 or the Big 12, right?
Yeah, and then it's business. And there's deadlines in business. And there's deadlines in college athletics. This is what it is. You made the attempt to try to get the extension, to try to get the leeway. The league is not backing you on that. Move on.
You know, I think what you said, and it's actually really interesting, and this would be a good conversation for San Diego State fan, if this was Boise State, and they were having the same argument, and they said, we brought all this notoriety, and we brought bowl games and you know, New Year's 6 bowl games, and look what we've done for the league, and look what we've done. I don't know. Would you feel differently? You'd be saying,
and how did you feel when Boise State got those concessions? When they got the better end of the deal to stay in the conference?
And they've got
People
a much
did not
different
like that.
deal. Yeah. Still don't, by the way.
Yeah.
Still don't. They've got a much different deal than the other members of this conference. And so for Ziegler to say, and I like Mark, and I think he does a pretty good job, but for him to say, this is all I'm a commissioner, and she's, I don't know what she's supposed to say right now. Like, I know the media is calling her. What should Gloria be saying right now while this is going on? I mean, do you need a daily
There's
update
nothing
from her?
groundbreaking. It's San Diego State is still a member of the Mountain West Conference. These are the rules that are in place. If teams want to leave our conference, these are the dates that are involved, and this is where we sit.
Yeah, I hear it from both sides, man. I hear all my San Diego State buddies are, why are they not granting us this extension? And I'm like, would you grant Boise State the extension? Well, yeah, of course we would. Would you? I mean, honestly, would you?
You'd be complaining like crazy that Broncos would be getting away with it.
Yeah, it to your point, it's business. And San Diego State was part of constructing this model. They were in on it. They signed it. They understand it. So we got what, another week? I think we got till next Friday to figure this thing out. And will something happen? I mean, I know J.D. Wicker is got to be on the phone every day with George Kliavkov and Brett Yarmark, the commissioners of the Pac-12 and the Big 12, and come on, guys, help me out. And the commissioners, you would think they would they would want to, but they've got to get their business in order first. This isn't just the commissioner snapping his finger. Again, those commissioners work for those presidents. The commissioners work for the membership. And I think just to completely turn this all on Gloria, it just feels weird, doesn't it? Listen to Ziegler on that one.
It does.
And I like Mark a lot.
This is one of the ones where nothing's going to change. Like, the commissioner is just going to give a generic statement.
Yep.
And it's until San Diego State makes their decision, the commissioner's not going to be able to change that. So here's the date. Here's the money.
And the commissioner doesn't get to decide if, in fact, it went to the membership and the membership voted, yep, you know what, let's give them an extension for a week. That would be the membership decide. That would be the presidents of this league. That wouldn't be Gloria Nevarez. She doesn't get to just make that decision. She has to go back to her membership. All right, when we return, you got really good stuff from you on the text line, 505-246-0610, and on the emails, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. So we'll get some of your thoughts. The 377 Brewery hotline is open for you at 505-246-0610. Albuquerque is known for a lot of things, a lot of really great things, but sadly it's not known for safety and security. That's why I called IPS years ago and have them watch my home. It's private, affordable security, and they come by every day. My neighbors have now hired them as well. Aaron Jones started IPS back in 2006 up in Fort Hills, protecting homes there. Now they protect hundreds of homeowners and business owners throughout Albuquerque and Santa Fe and all over. And it works. Now they're looking for help. If you are a former or retired police officer, if you've got military or security experience, you want to make our city better, a better place to live, a better place to work, Aaron's asking you to fill out an application at ipsglobal.com. He's got world-class professionals who will train you to handle almost any situation. Work for a great company. Make a difference in our community. Call IPS at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420, or you can fill out an application online at ipsglobal.com. Join IPS if you want to make Albuquerque a better place to live and work.
Registration.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
All right, a lot of correspondence from you this morning. Let's get to it. Email jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, jj@sportsanimalabq.com, and on the Twitter, it's _JJ Buck, and of course on the text line, 505-246-0610. We were talking earlier, is this the Cowboys' time? Are they close? And I said, it's got to be getting close, doesn't it? It's got to be close. It's been a quarter of a century. They're building, and this is, where does the it's got to be time for the Cowboys to get into the NFC Championship game argument come from? As if time or expectations are what makes for NFL success. Haven't teams gone long without advancing and winning? What's the record of winless droughts? Yet, if Dallas gets into a championship game and loses, it would be, hold on, I got to go to another page and finish this. It would be, I don't know where this ends. But you see this? You see what he's trying to say?
No.
Where does it come from?
Well, because it comes from your current makeup of your roster, where your quarterback is in their career and their contract. So I don't know. Just it's the argument to make an argument against that statement.
Yeah, I guess when I say it's got to be time, I've been listening every year. And maybe it's because the market in which I work and live, and maybe it's because they are who they are, right? They're the Dallas Cowboys. But I've been listening every year how great the talent is, how good they are, how close they are, how they should win. And they don't. They just don't win. And then I look objectively at the roster. I'm like, well, I mean, they are pretty good. They probably should be in contention, right?
This year, it's not just because they're the Dallas Cowboys, they should be good. It's based on the rest of the conference that they play in, where their roster sits right now, And the NFC has a lot of question marks. Teams that, all right, they could be good. Geno Smith, did he turn the corner, and is he going to be a consistent NFL quarterback now in that system? There's only one team in the NFC that checks every single box right now, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. You love the roster of the San Francisco 49ers because they just continually just do it without a marquee quarterback. But other than that, why it's now, it's because you have playmakers on the outside, good running back, a good quarterback in Dak Prescott, got a superstar defender to build your defense around. Like, those are the pieces that should lead you to winning playoff games to put yourself in position to play for an NFC championship. That's why it's now.
Fair. All right. This one says Cleveland in the playoffs. Are you crazy? There's only one way the Browns get to the Super Bowl. And then he tried to make a funny, I take the Browns to the Super Bowl 3 or 4 times a day. See what he did there? That's the only way, he says the Browns are going to, is this the same person? It is. Browns are going to suck like they do every year. I don't care how much they pay their quarterback. I don't care how good their defense is. They're going to suck because they're the Cleveland Browns, and that's what the Browns do. What's the last really bad franchise we watched turn things around? Because there's something to being a really bad franchise and not being able to win. Clippers, Browns. No, really. Chargers aren't a bad franchise. They just, I hope they're cursed because they moved from San Diego. But I want you to think of a really bad, when you think of bad franchises, right? Losing franchises over the years. You think of the Clippers, you think of the Browns, right? Who else do you think of? I mean, there's some basketball teams that are just completely irrelevant. And how often do those teams spin it around and win? You're going to tell me the Kansas City Royals, but they've got a history back in the day of winning. Like, I don't know that I think they're a bad franchise. I just think they're a small market franchise that it's hard to win there. But give me one, because I'm struggling. And it'll go to his point of saying they're not going to win.
Okay, if you don't think. I guess what level is acceptable in this? Because
let's get you to a championship.
They were a postseason team a few years ago. Like Baker Mayfield.
Right.
The guy that can't play quarterback took them to the playoffs.
Look, the Clippers are postseason
they
team
won
too. They don't
with that mess last year, 7 games, and you're like, 7 games. Yeah, that's not far off from being a wild card team.
Okay. But, I mean, getting to the playoffs, win something. Win something. When was the last time a franchise that you think is just a bad franchise year after year after year after year, and pick your sport, turns things around, right? I mean, give me another one. We think Clippers and we think Browns, right? Because they just never win anything.
Man, I don't think the Browns have been that bad.
They've been
down, but okay, if it comes down to we haven't won a Super Bowl, then insert X amount of the NFL in there.
Well, yeah, them and the Lions and other teams. No, I get it. To franchises like that, how do they turn things around? And I can't give you a good example of one because I don't have one. This says, I love the Cowboys, but man, they suck. I don't even think they're going to win 9 games this year. Okay. And then this one says, I'm curious what Jordan Poole said to his teammate, Draymond Green, to make him get punched in the face. Do we know what happened? Was it just a bunch of talk? Was it like I mean, we never really have heard the story, have we?
When you look at the video, it looked like, there's some chirping going on, but
yeah, but
nothing to the extent like Jordan Poole didn't say anything where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to say this, and I better be ready to square up." Like his hands were down, and he was back against the wall.
Yeah,
like he was not expecting things to escalate like that.
To get sucker punched in the face like that? Yeah, I think that's right. All right, Dan says, disappointing Derek Charles ho, Jeffrey and Juan Jose. There are OD producers in the past that didn't like the ho. The last one was Bernie Jean, but today's effort was among the worst. I don't know if it was because I didn't see it. I didn't get to witness it. I mean, ho as you wish. I can't tell you. I can't tell you
what you
how
want to do, man.
Can't tell you how to hoe. All right, we're going to take this final break, come back, get you everything you need to know as you go into your weekend, and wrap up your final correspondence. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Travelers Championship is in progress. You get the, I meant to ask Nick Nee. The women's PGA Championship is going on. I wanted to ask him about the impact that Rose Zhang's going to have. The young lady from Stanford who won the collegiate championship and then a week later turned pro and won her first LPGA tour, and what that means. And you know, we always say when something happens in a sport, you see a bump in popularity, whether it's soccer, golf, whatever. I wonder, do you think that'll have an impact on women's golf when somebody like that makes such a move?
Are we talking television viewership?
No, I don't know that television. More so just popularity and people going out and playing.
No.
No? Okay. All right. I mean, I'll watch more. I'll flip over this weekend and watch the PGA Championship. I'll take a look at it. Now, I don't know any of these names, honestly. I look at the leaderboard. I'm not even sure I know how to. I don't want to butcher the names. But if Rose Zhang's near the top, I'll probably take a look. Now, right now, she is tied for 11th, and she's 1 under par after a round. Okay, I'll take a look. But that's going on this weekend if you want to watch it. You've got the Travelers Championship. You've got the College World Series. Did you catch the walk-off last night in an elimination game? LSU and Wake Forest. And I know this isn't your thing, but this was a great highlight. Somebody told me LSU's got more prospects on their roster than the Oakland Athletics do. I'm like, I
entirely possible.
Laugh. Yeah, it very well may be. So both Wake Forest and LSU threw their aces, who will all be drafted next week, in this game, the elimination game, and it was 0-0 and it went extra innings. And they got into the bullpen, and Wake went to the bullpen, and this young man came out. And this is such a bummer for the pitcher. His first pitch, Jay Johnson took him over the wall and hit a walk-off 2-run home run to put LSU into the College World Series final series against Florida. It'll be 2 out of 3. But what a moment, man. Elimination game in the World Series. Winner goes on to the final, and it's 0-0. Super intense. Dude, the baseball game was terrific, by the way. Just a great college baseball game. And dude comes up, relief pitcher, first pitch, gone. Yeah. It was a moment. Have you seen the highlight?
Really like the defensive play that was made in the 8th inning by LSU on the tried the squeeze bunt, first baseman charged and in the toss to plate. Like, there's some fantastic baseball in that game.
Yeah, I thought the whole College World Series has been really good. So that's an event for you. That's what you got this weekend. As we hit the final, it's kind of crazy, the final weekend of June. United will be home. They are, I believe it's Pride on the Pitch on Saturday, tomorrow evening out at the ball pitch. They play Switchbacks. Gladiators are at home tomorrow evening. They're out at the Rio Rancho Event Center. So there's a ton going on. Of course, you can listen to Isotopes Baseball here on The Sports Animal, and there's plenty of Major League Baseball. People, do you think we see any NBA trades, or are we kind of quiet now until free agency starts?
I think it'll be a quiet weekend as teams start to kick the tires on potential deals, setting the table for free agency now that you know who all the player options are done with. They had to accept those the other day, and it will start to ramp up, I think, Wednesday and Thursday ahead of June 30th.
Okay, so next week we start to see a little bit more of that. So that gets quiet. We're going to sit here next week. It's going to be, by the end of the week, we're looking at July, and we're looking at camps, and we're looking at football. And what are we, 3 weeks away from being in Vegas for Media Day? So there's this is a time. I tell guys all the time, man, if your lady wants to go see a movie, or you got about 5-6 more weeks of that until your Sundays are taken up. Right, Saturdays are taken up by college football, and your Sundays are taken up by the NFL. And I think we're looking at some cool stuff. So you're out Monday. Ryan's going to be sitting in with me, I believe, on Monday. Ryan Kazmierski's going to be in. He is the guy who...
He might even be with you in front of your fireplace. You never know.
Well, I don't know how we're going to do that. Yeah, or it'll just be me and not even able to talk to DC on Monday. So you just may get a whole lot of me on Monday. We'll see. But the plan is for Ryan to be in, and he's got stories now. He knows so much, but he's the guy who travels with the college football the football playoff championship trophy.
National championship trophy.
DC, and I know you probably can't speak because you got mic issues, but he's a guy that when the college football playoff championship trophy was in Athens, Georgia 2 years ago, getting set to being given to the Bulldogs. There it was, sitting in the hotel room in front of the computer, listening to the opening drive online. Do you know we have an app, by the way?
We have an app.
we have an app. But yeah, so Ryan, the plan is for Ryan to be with me on Monday. Looking forward to having him in and getting, just a little different perspective on that. If the Cowboys are serious about running the ball, says the text line, more this year, then they need to make a move on Dalvin Cook or Kareem Hunt. Pollard coming off a major injury. They need depth in capital letters in the running back room. It's from Kyle. I don't totally disagree with him. Now, kind of money you want to pay Dalvin Cook? Because I think Dalvin Cook fits there, insanely well with what
I can get Dalvin Cook on a 1-year deal. I'll plug and play him anywhere.
Dalvin Cook's looking for a 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So you think you can wait him out, and as he gets more desperate, you might be able to find him on a 1 year. What's he worth on a 1-year deal? $8 million?
Yeah, that's a decent chunk of change.
For you and me, but is he going to?
If you're looking at what the franchise tag for running backs is, like 10 right now.
Yeah, it's 10.
So
10 and a half. That's what
give
Tony
him a
Pollard's
franchise.
making.
Yeah, give him a.
Well, how much do you believe in Tony Pollard coming off that injury? Because it's actually a really fair assessment on that, right? Dude's coming off a major injury, and you got rid of the guy who's been your guy forever, saying, "All right, here's our guy now. We're moving forward. We've moved on." You trust him?
Depth at running back. Now that matters. But you can find these dudes. Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt, they're nice names. But you can get by. You don't have to get too antsy. It's early, it's June. These guys some of the veteran guys aren't going to want to come in anyway until training camp.
Yep.
You'll be okay there.
All right. What are you looking forward to this weekend? What do you got on tap?
Whatever the world hands me, Jeff.
Go on. You going to swing the golf club? Are you playing golf Monday?
Might be playing some golf on Monday. Looking forward to that.
So you're going to get out and play a little bit before?
I'll probably have to go buy like 36 golf balls, so by the time I get done with my round, I'll have 2 left.
Well, I'll give you 4. No, I'll give you 3. I think I'll give you a sleeve. So I'll give you 3.
Won't use those ones.
I'm moving you around on teams right now, dude. I've got. Here's my list. It's just it's scribbled all over. Here's the one from before. Like it looked that's the way it looked yesterday, and now it's all scribbled up. Big New Mexico Bowl golf tournament on Monday. Looking forward to that in the afternoon. And we got it for.
Why are you playing a golf tournament when you should be playing a bowl game?
What if we played the bowl game? That's such a good point. God, I'm stupid. DC, great week. Glad you're with us. When's he not new anymore, by the way? At what point
I
is
think
he
now,
not new?
because he went through it this week.
We're all going through it this week. Adrian, great week. Show looks good on the visual side. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is on at 4 o'clock. Isotopes in Reno this evening. We're back Monday with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Big weekend for you?
Huge weekend.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you Monday.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.